Hi friends, my name is Debbie and today we're going to be painting this beautiful paradise inspired by my latest trip to Jamaica. So let's get started. For brushes, I'm going to be using different sizes. You can use whatever you have at home. It doesn't matter. Whatever you have is fine. I'm going to be using an old brush for some texture and liner brush, and then different sizes, a quill brush, a number 0 for some details, but you can use whatever you have. I have 100% cold press cotton paper, and for paint I'm going to be using the Million watercolor. So let's get started. We're going to be working wet on wet, so we're going to get all the background wet, and we're just adding clean water, and then we're going to put some sap green for some background color. Apply this all the way, and it's gonna blend nice and easy because the paper is already wet, so it's gonna give us a nice background color. And then we're gonna start adding some emerald green for some depth, and it's gonna give us more texture on the trees, the bushes, and some of the green areas on the reference photo. Then we're gonna continue with cadmium yellow. We're gonna add some highlights inside the bushes, inside of the trees, and some of the plants also. And then we're adding some Payne's gray for some deeper color. Just few dots here and there, and it's gonna blend really nice because the paper is still wet, so the paint is gonna continue spreading. Remember, this doesn't have to be a lot of details. We're gonna be adding some salt for some texture, so after adding the salt we're gonna let it dry a few minutes. Make sure it's nice and dry before we remove the salt, and this is gonna give nice textures. We're gonna add the sky with some cobalt blue, and we wet the paper first, and then we add the blue color on top of it, so it's gonna blend nice and even. And we're adding some Payne's gray to the cement blocks for the driveway or the walkway, and we're just gonna continue doing this. We're gonna do some highlights in some areas, so we're gonna get our brush wet. We're gonna wipe off some of the extra paint, and after you take it off, just put your brush on the paper towel and clean brush again, and just doing some lifting with the nice wet wash. Now we're adding some salt to the driveway, and we're gonna continue by doing the other side with some yellow ochre. It's very light color. I would say maybe 10% paint, and the rest would be water. Very light wash. And we're doing some highlights too, so remember, just get your brush wet, clean brush, and then you lift some color, clean it on the towel, and go back some clean brush and continue doing that. Then we're gonna add some darker color to the stairs. We're gonna take the old brush and get the darkest green you have on your palette, and we're gonna add some texture with the old brush. We're just tapping here and there, giving some details, make look like it's some leaves in there. And just by pressing on the brush and on the paper, and it's gonna give you some nice texture. And just move your brush sideways, different positions, so you get some more texture and some more leaves look alike. So we're gonna continue doing this. Then I decided to take the brush for some more leaves. This is gonna give different texture for the leaves. So the brush and the old brush is gonna give us a nice looking tree, as you can see. Now we're gonna move to wet on wet again to paint the house, and the house is gonna be a nice yellow. I will be using the cadmium yellow, but you can use any yellow that you have at home. Remember, this painting is supposed to be stress-free. You're supposed to relax when you're painting. You're not supposed to be stressed out. It doesn't need to be perfect. Any painting that you do is always good. You're always a good artist, no matter what. So just relax, paint as simple as possible. No, not crazy details. We're just putting some color on the walls, and then we will go back when it's dry to get the details of the wood with some line marks. And we're just adding some more of the sienna for giving some of the shadows on the wood. The top piece, that's where the shadow is going to be. The bottom is where the sunlight is hitting the house. So the sunlight hits the house, that's the lightest colors. And the top is where the shadow is going to be. So the shadow color is usually sienna and ultramarine blue, 50%, and very light on the color, so on the value. So that means we're gonna add little paint, a lot of water, and we're just adding some more details on the house. As you can see, like I said, this painting is very stress-free. We're not trying to be realistic. This is a more relaxed painting, kind of laid-back painting. We're just adding a few details on the walkway, a little bit of dry brush here and there to give some more texture. And then we move to the sienna color, back to the stairs, to the house. And we're just giving some more color to the stairs. Now we're moving to the grass with some sap green. And we're making some of the plants that you see on the background. There's some taller some taller plants. And then we're gonna be making some of the grass that is on the sidewalk. For that one, we will be using number 6 brush and also the liner brush for some more details. And we're gonna be putting different greens, light greens, medium greens, and darker greens. So you give a lot of different values, so it makes it look really nice and more kind of like realistic looking, but it's not that realistic. And we're just gonna continue some strokes, just lifting your brush and pulling like normal grass would look like, and you just pull the brush and it gives you the nice grass looking texture. And we're just speeding up a little bit because it's about the same. It's the same technique, just putting some grass here and there, just filling up the space that we have on the painting, and just continue doing so until you're satisfied with the look of the grass. And then we're gonna be painting some of the trees on the background. So for that one, we will be using brown. For now, we're painting this bush here in the back with some of the light greens, medium greens, and darker greens, and just giving some texture, highlights, some grass here near the wall, and the same technique, we're just pulling up. And now we're putting the windows with some yellow ochre, and there's not much to explain about this. It's just filling up the windows, the door, and just adding the yellow ochre for details on the house. And then we're gonna be adding more grass on the right hand side. We want to make sure this area has some grass also. And then we're gonna be using the shadow. We're gonna give some texture and shade on the sidewalk. So near the grass, you want to make sure that area is nice and darker, because this is gonna give the look that the sidewalk is above the grass, not the grass above the sidewalk. And we're just making sure that some areas are darker. And then we're putting the palm trees, and I started with the emerald green, but you can use any medium green that you have. And we're just doing some light strokes, trying to make it look like the leaves are hanging from some of the trees on the other side. We're just pretending there's a tree on that side, and just putting some palm trees on this part. And there's not much to it, just the same strokes. We're moving to the sienna, and now we're gonna give some of the details on the house. This house was made out of wood, so we're just making the lines for the wood look alike. Nothing major, no stress. We don't have to give too many details. Like I said at the beginning, this is a very easy painting. We're not supposed to be stressed out trying to make it perfect. Any painting that you make is always beautiful, and you're an artist no matter what. So just continue doing so. And some more details here on the stairs. We're gonna be adding some of the shadows on the top part of the walls, and some of the poles that holds the front porch. We're adding those shadows. And then we're gonna be adding a palm tree on this part of the house, and it's just the light brown. And then we're gonna be adding the leaves to it. Started with the lightest color, and then we're moving to the medium, and then we add the final darker green for some more details on the palm trees. And just simple strokes, pulling to the sides, nothing crazy. And we continue doing the palm tree. Just keep doing the same strokes, just pulling from the stem downward, and pull, and it's gonna be looking like a palm tree. Continue doing this, and then we're gonna be adding some more texture with the old brush. We're gonna be picking up the old brush to give a little bit more texture in some areas, like the bushes, maybe a little bit on the grass, to give a little bit more like a background look. And we're gonna put some flowers on this part of the house. Now we're moving to the white paint to make the poles look white, and they had some wood on the porch, like a mini fence kind of. So that's where we're painting right now. Nothing crazy, it's just a little bit X, double X, and that's the fence for the porch. Back to the trees, we're back to the trees, so we're putting light brown first, then we're gonna go to a darker value, and then the darkest value to add more texture to the trees. And we're just putting some color, adding some branches here and there. So we're gonna be doing the final touches for now, the small details. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.